Hello and welcome to the Nitty Kitties channel, and I'm Any Art Netty. Now today I'm bringing you a kit from Victoria's Moon. They kindly sent me another one, which is awesome. Thank you very much to those people who sent that. Now don't do what I'm doing now, the scissors, whatever you do. So anyway, I'm just opening up this. We can have a little unboxing and see what's in it. And there's for putting on the diamonds. I'll show you a bit how to do that. If you're not familiar with diamond painting, this may help you in the processes, tips and tricks and stuff like that. And that's supposed to be the wrapping of the little, I'll call it a dotter, and you'll see what I mean. This is a bit different from the usual ones I do because it's called a half drill, which usually it's a full drill, which means it's completely covered in the diamonds. But this one, you'll see different shapes, different sizes, and they're not all in rows, they're more in a pattern. And this particular one is of a peacock. Now there's the drills in that package there. And as you can see, there's little peacock feathers and they're all in different sizes. Now I've been watching a few videos of how to flatten the diamond paintings because they usually come like this, which is normal, either with you can't see through it or with like this, a cellophane covering. So I tried flattening it out. Then on one video I watched on YouTube, they did this technique where you peel off one side first and then you put it back on a bit more tidily than I did. And then you go the other side, just like that, and then put it back again, and that is supposed to flatten it. It didn't work for me, but I think that's more the one where you can't see through it if you've seen one like that. So what I usually do, and I thought, well, I'm going to do it my way, is I roll it both ways. One way you can see the pattern outside of it, and then I roll it again the other way, which I think I've done, I'm presuming I've done. Tuck the edges in, and then sometimes people stack them on books. There's one person I know who does diamond painting and she stacks them under a load of books to flatten it, but I find if you're wanting to get into it quick that this is the method that I use. So if I get one where there's a full covering on at some point, I'll try the technique where you lift it and then put it back down, but this works for me anyway, so you'll find your own method in that. So that's the picture that I'm going to be doing in this video. And what have we got next? Now, this is a tip more for a full drill. So if you peel back that and cut it just bit by bit, you can keep it nice and neat. So you can just do section by section, and then you can put it back down again to keep it clean, because these things, that is sticky as anything, they will attract dust. You don't know where it's come from, but it'll just attract dust like anything. Yeah, so work from the top down, but just for the sake of the video, what I do is I work colour to colour, but I think you'll find your own way of doing it. Some people, if you've done cross stitch, you might find that you work top bottom, or you go by a different colour, you do the biggest colour first, but it's different people, different rules. Now what I'm doing here, which is another good tip, is to put masking tape around the edges, because that is mostly where you're going to get all of the dirt, and that'll just keep it clean. Again, lots of fluff and dust will just attract to that, like things that attract to things. So yeah, that I found is a brilliant method. I've just started doing that because I always forget to do it, and by the time I remember to do it, it's too late. It's covered in fluff and everything. And as you can tell by the title of the channel, Nitty Kitties, we have kitties, they go near it, fur, it's just stuck to it. So that is a brilliant tip anyway, and also keep the cover as well for when you're not using it, so it doesn't get covered in dust. and keep it nice and straight. I'm making a right rubbish job of that. Now to the left of that I've got my own little tool that I put the diamonds on myself. That's the one I'll be using throughout because it's the one I'm most familiar with anyway. But RIP, she died, her head fell off, so I used the one that came with the kit. So this is another good tip, is to have a little storage box. If you've got one lying around, that's brilliant. And it'll keep them all in order. These particular ones, they're not sealable again. So I found I could keep them upright in the box. And it was much easier, and it was just much quicker than not storing them somewhere. So I'm just putting those different size diamonds away. Oh dear. I'm not cutting them for now because pretty much I'm just demonstrating what you'd do. To be fair, with them and that kind of box, I probably wouldn't pour them in. There's some boxes you can get which are like, I think it's for sewing. They've got little boxes within the slots themselves, and they're not as, the depth, there's not as much depth as there is with this box. So you can take out the little boxes and then have whatever colour you want next. So, as I say, there's the different feather sizes. There's 2 or 3 different sizes with the actual little diamonds themselves. There's a few different names that this goes by. You'll see 5D, drill painting, diamond painting. So there's quite a few, but these are the actual, they just stick onto that canvas surface and they'll stay as well. But the thing is, I don't know how long that they'll stay on the canvas. So maybe, I've noticed there's some videos on YouTube where people put Podge, if you've heard of it, all over it, and when you've got the diamond painting in a frame, that means that they won't all fall off. So I shall find a decent video and link it in the description below for preserving your diamond paintings once they're finished. So it looks like I'm getting stuck in here, and I'm sticking down the biggest feathers of the kit. So again, I shall refer back to Victoria's Moon, who I got this kit off. I've got quite a few videos and a playlist for Victoria's Moon, as they've been very kind in giving me kits to show you. They also offer me a voucher code, which I'll put in the link below, so you can get a percentage off, and I will link the website as well below. There is thousands to choose from. They've also sent me in the past, just a quick little note, that they've sent me paint by numbers as well, is something that they do, and I'll link you to that. But more on the diamond painting, there is thousands, absolutely thousands, and I wonder if there's more which feature fancy diamonds like this. So that can't be the only one. So if you see the blue ones, which I'm putting down now, there's the pink ones, which is another size. And then I'm just showing you that it's not straight across. There is a pattern to it, and there's like gaps where that background that you can see now, that is going to show through, and it won't be covered with diamonds. So I hope that makes sense. That's what I was doing there. So yeah, do have a look. Do use that, I think it's 10%. Use that 10% discount, take advantage of it, and you could learn a new hobby. And yeah, I do like that frame around it. It's very nice. It's different than one I've done before. I think the last one I did was of Mount Fuji. Oh, there was a cat as well. There was a steampunk cat. There's been quite a few. So I'll be showing you some more tips and tricks throughout this video. But while I'm sticking these down, I'll try and see if there's anything else I can find. Oh yeah, so there is a tip actually. Are any of you familiar with a light board which you can use for your art to trace when you're replicating the picture that you've done and you're using a light board? You can get various sizes of them. I'd say the smallest to get is probably an A4 for this. They work really well with diamond paintings because sometimes you can't see what I'm pointing to, the symbols. Some of them can be very similar. I found that's not as much with these because they are a higher quality. But you can put a light board underneath and it'll help you, especially if you're working at night, to be able to see the symbols more clearer. Now there's an awesome lady I've seen on YouTube talking about this and she's got some brilliant tips, and I shall link her video somewhere here. There'll be a card in the video. I think it's on top right. So that'll be there somewhere. So there we go. I tried to get for you a bit more detail on one of them 3D feathers. So yeah, I've not seen one like that before, and I'm hoping to have a quick look at the website and hopefully find some more. So also, if you're ordering off the website, I do find there's different sizes, so it'll come in a 30 by 30 for example, 50 by 50, and for example, say if it's a design of Mount Fuji, the bigger that size is, the more detail you are going to get in the picture. So I'd highly recommend, if there's a bigger size, go for it. And that's not me just saying go and spend more money on there or whatever. It's just if you want more detail in the picture, the bigger the size, the more details there's going to be. And that works especially well if you're turning a photograph into a diamond painting. So I'd highly recommend that. And then obviously if you get the discount code as well, it'll save you more money. So hopefully that's a good tip that will help as well when you're purchasing diamond paintings. So you see me pointing to a little grid reference on the right there. There's a little print on each of the packages that are in that purple box. That code refers to a specific, say one code refers to those bigger feathers, one code refers to those smaller feathers. They're quite easy to find because of the shape of them on the canvas. But say the blue, the green ones, and there's silver in it as well and gold, they will all have a specific code and a symbol. Now if you're familiar with your cross stitch, you'll already know all about that. The different colour refers to this code. Like a little symbol on the chart, like red, you got your bright red, and that, for argument's sake, is a cross symbol on your cross stitch. It's that same principle. So you refer to that little grid on the right. So you go, okay, this green sparkly one is a little, for argument's sake, a heart shape. Right, so all the bits with a heart shape on, I'm going to stick one of them green diamonds on it. So that's basically how it works. It's cross stitch, but a lot quicker with little shiny diamonds. And that, in layman's terms, is how to describe diamond painting. But when it comes to framing it and all that, you can cut out all that bit and the white. That's a good tip as well. Just shake it if you want to get them all the right way round. Yeah, so just cut around it. Thumbs up. And then pop it in the frame. And you've got a nice work of art on the wall. Like I say, preserve it with Mod Podge or whatever in this video that the lady says that I recommended before. And I'll pop that in the description as well. Now, something I've found, and I don't know if you're familiar with diamond paintings, you'll find it. See what I'm doing here? Sometimes they get stuck together. Now, if you get another tray like that, you can squeeze it and they'll all come apart. Now, that's a nice little tip. I didn't know that, and it's just a few videos I've been watching on YouTube and then just shake it to turn them the right way round. And that's a brilliant little tip. It's very helpful. So that's my daughter that sadly passed away and her head fell off. I just couldn't use it anymore because the head kept falling off. This is a blue I'd use blue tack because this is white tack, but it does work. And I'm hovering it in thin air, so it doesn't really, because I didn't want it sticking to that canvas. So if you get your dotter, and there is quite a wide hole in that diamond paint. It is quite big to fill. Oh, matron. In that. Please don't demonetize me, even though I'm not monetized at the minute. And you fill that with the blue tack. And that will last a lot longer than the little one that they give you. There's like a little pink gum that they give you. And the blue tack lasts ages. I only had to do that maybe 4 times, whereas with the glue that usually comes with it, I'm doing it every 10 minutes or something like that. Yeah, so, and away we go. So this is the actual process of the diamond painting. I'd say it's very relaxing, very enjoyable, and very addictive. You don't realise at first, but once you've done one, and I know another lady as well, who she'd never done diamond painting before, and she tried one and she was addicted. And now the whole house is filled with framed diamond paintings. So sometimes you're going to put down a diamond and it's on the wrong bit and you realise you've put it on the wrong square. That's another thing I'll come to, remind square. Now removing them can be awkward, but if you get a toothpick you can just pick it out and it should just come out really easy. Either that or tweezers, but I find sometimes that can kind of scrape the diamond and ruin it a bit. So I do find toothpick, just put it under very gently and it'll pop off and come out. Especially when you're using, as I say, square ones, because these little drills or diamonds, whatever you want to call them, they come in either round or square. And the square ones, once you've stuck it and it's in, it's really difficult if you've made a mistake to dig it out. So, speaking of square ones as well, I've seen people do like a checkerboard method. Again, I'll link in the description with the video. You watch this lady. I've never done it myself, but I'm going to try it when I next get a square one. And she does this like checkerboard and then filling in the bits that she's missed. And that's a brilliant method because they do have to be straight, because otherwise it looks weird if they're a bit wonky enough, because they have to be at a, if you want to get at that perfect 90-degree angle with all the squares. Another tip I picked up as well But sometimes you'll see little air bubbles. That bit that's sticky is like a very, very thin sheet of see-through like goo. Sometimes you will get a little air bubble on it, and no matter how much you try to get it out, it will not go. Now the easiest thing I've found to get rid of that is just get a Stanley knife or a little blade. Don't go through the canvas, whatever you do, just very slightly use the blade to pop through the air bubble, and it should go and flatten. But you've got to be very careful, don't go through the canvas. It's very, very precise how you do it, and it'll just get rid of it, because otherwise they just do not go, and then you got all these bubbles and uneven surface on your canvas. So I hope that tip helps as well. And of course, yeah, you go top to bottom, but if you're like me and you do the colours one by one, make sure, I'd say, because obviously that's going to be all over it, I'd go from, this is just my tip, the left corner and then out. Otherwise you're going to get lost and you're going to miss a colour. Or do it where you cut. Do you remember where I was cutting bits of the plastic out? You could do that and then pop it back section by section, because then you won't miss any of the colours as well. But if you do colour by colour, make sure you do have some storage for them, because if you've thrown them or whatever, make sure you keep hold of the colours if you do that. So I'm just showing there again that the gaps that will show through once you've done all the feathers. So I hope that's explained what a half drill is and helped any decisions whether you'd want to get into diamond painting or not. So that's what I do once I've finished a colour, because I do colour by colour, I pop them back in that bag again. It could be very handy to have sealable bags, little bags, but make sure you keep the code for each colour if you're doing that method. So I'm referring to the chart again, and it looks like I'm going on to the next colour. There we go. So with some of them are like 1, 2, 3, 4, labelled 1 to whatever how many colours there is. That one, I think, see that colour, it's like XYR2 Visa, so I'm like, which one's that? So it did, but that's not a problem. As long as they're all different, and they all refer to each other, that's all that matters. So I just wanted to show the difference between the sparkly ones, and I think this is a more opaque one, which was a nice eclectic mix to have the different sizes, the sparklies and then opaque ones, and then small, medium and large, different sizes. And then again, like I'm doing, section by section, unless working bottom to top. But I think, to be fair, with the 4D, it's not half drills as opposed to full drills. It is easier to work section by section, especially with those feathers, and do one by one. You might actually find that easier. Right, so I hope that's helped, and hopefully we'll look forward to more diamond painting videos. There will be a playlist for you, and again, there's the code 10% off in the description, and it's victoriasmoon.com, which is paint by numbers and also diamond paintings. So all that's left to say really is thank you ever so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and thank you to all the subscribers. And should you like our content and want to look out for more, we don't have a particular schedule at the minute, but I usually give a heads up when there's a video on the way. On mostly active on Twitter, sometimes on Facebook, which are both called Any Art Netty. There's an Instagram as well, so I will link all of that in the description as well. So if you do like it, please do consider subscribing. We'd love to have you around, and please do give it a like as well, should you have found this helpful at all, or you just enjoyed it and it entertained you or whatever. And we hope to see you around soon, and come and say hello on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram. And I'll leave you with a little bit more diamond painting process and then a time lapse. And we'll see you again sometime, and bye for now. Bye bye.